This is Kenshin1913 along with
Mom.
And this is another Cooking with Kenshin1913. What are we making today?
Today we're making an old-fashioned favorite of mine called princess pudding.
Ooh.
Okay, first thing that you need is a package of Jello. I'm using 1.4 ounces of raspberry gelatin. You could use any flavor that you prefer.
Jello.
Any kind of Jello. This dish comes great with any flavor.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have a 10-ounce pound cake.
Mm-hmm.
This happens to be a store-bought one, but you can make your own pound cake.
Yeah.
I'm using an 8-ounce tub of whipped topping or Cool Whip.
Or whipped cream.
Or you can use 8 ounces of regular whipped cream.
Yeah.
So you would beat up your cream yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So utensils that you're going to need is a bowl. You're going to need, I'm using, this is a loaf pan, a glass one that you can put in the freezer.
Yeah.
Or you can use like a plasticware once it's all combined, because this has to be frozen.
Yeah.
So you need a bowl, knife, and spoon, and hot water.
Yeah, boiling hot water.
Melt the gelatin.
Yeah. Alright, so let's get going.
So we're going to follow the directions on the gelatin. It's usually 1 cup of hot water, boiled water, and 1 cup of cold water. And then that would be mixed up well and placed in your refrigerator until it sets.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a fast-paced
Fast set, you mean?
Set for the gelatin.
Yeah.
And so we're going to get, in a couple of minutes after we do the hot water to dissolve it, we're going to do ice cubes. And all of that information is on the gelatin packet.
Yeah, so let's start with your gelatin. Like my mom said, you can use any kind. We're going to use raspberry. You can use cherry, orange, strawberry. Well, I guess whatever your favorite kind is.
And remember that, if you're having more guests over, you're going to maybe want to make a bigger portion, so you can then double the recipe.
Yeah. All right, so we already pre-boiled our water, boiling hot, as you can see, the steam. And use a Pyrex cup or whatever heat resistant you got. Now you're gonna pour that in and then mix for what, like a few minutes?
Until it's all dissolved. You'll see that it all dissolves. Be careful.
Yeah. So Ma, where'd you first learn this recipe?
Oh, this was a recipe that my grandmother would make every summer. She would do any kind of flavors. Our favorite was strawberry or raspberry or lime. And it was better than eating ice cream. So she would make this, put it in her freezer, and then when we would go over the house, we'd have princess pudding. Yeah.
Well, if you're gonna claim that this is better than eating ice cream on a hot summer day, man, this gotta be very good. Actually, this is a first for me. I actually don't remember ever eating princess pudding.
Okay, and as you can see, all the crystals are melted. Okay, I'm going to get some ice.
Yeah.
And as I said, you just follow the box directions.
So what would it be, a cup of ice?
Well, they're saying to get 6 large ice cubes.
Oh, okay.
And then that's going to melt.
All right.
So I'll be right back.
Yeah. So this is actually a recipe that even I have not tried yet. This is going to be a first for me. At least I don't remember trying it. We decided, since it is the summer, we wanted to do a couple of lighter recipes. Or not lighter, but, something that you don't got to use the oven. We're going to try to be very seasonal with our recipes. So,
okay, so I have about 6 or so large size ice cubes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put these in.
Yeah, this is very, this kind of reminds me of when I do my iced tea, when I put ice cubes in the boiling hot water, it kind of cools everything down. So, so why is it called pudding when there is no pudding whatsoever in the
that I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it was just because it's nice and creamy.
Yeah.
and it's very flavorful.
Well, I can't wait to give it a go here.
So now you have to wait a little bit because, you know, what we're going to do and the magic of filming is we're going to put this in the refrigerator to make it set.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back. We're going to show you how to cut the pound cake, but then we'll come back once the Jell-O is set, and we will show you how to put it all together.
See, I thought from what you were saying to me when you were talking about making this, I thought that you take this right here, this Jello water, or whatever, Jello water, and you cut the pound cake and then you pour it over that.
No, but what we're going to do is we're going to save about 1/4 of a cup that we are not going to let get set in the refrigerator.
Okay, that part is very important.
So here we have about 1/4 of a cup, 1/3 of a cup,
Yeah.
and we're just going to leave that right here on the counter because it's not going to set.
Yeah.
This we're going to put in the refrigerator.
How long do you think it'd probably take to set?
They're saying because we use the ice cubes, it should take only about 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
When you do it just with some cold water, it takes a little longer. And you'll see how, you know, people know how Jell-O sets because you won't be able to wiggle it. Okay, so we just put our Jell-O in the refrigerator, and you can cover that with some saran wrap if you'd like. It's probably preferably to do so. And now we're going to cut our pound cake into chunks.
Yeah. What we're going to end up doing is cubing our pound cake, and yeah, like we said, this is store-bought. You could make your own pound cake, which I believe the recipe is a pound of butter, a pound of something else, right?
Yeah,
I forget how it goes.
And you would want pound cake because it's denser.
Yeah.
You could actually use sponge cakes. You know they look like a little tart where they do strawberry shortcake with it.
Yeah,
you could actually use those as well.
Okay, so how are we doing this here?
So we're gonna cut it.
Yeah, make sure to be careful if you're using a knife. You know, you gotta warn you about that.
Yes.
So what are you gonna do? You're gonna cut everything in half and then.
Yeah, and see you're
just
making
cubing
you're making it in little cubes. Oops, there goes our spoon off the Jell-O. And so we're just gonna keep doing this.
Yeah. So how many? What do you? So just cube up all of it. You think the whole thing you're gonna use?
Yes, we use the whole thing.
All right. So that's kind of how you cube it. Why not show one more time? So you cut it in half and then you just slice like that. And
you could even make it smaller if you choose to.
Yeah. So we'll just finish cutting that cake and we'll be right back.
Okay, here we are. You can see our Jell-O's all molded. Can't get it out.
Yep.
So now what we're gonna do?
Oh yeah, we cut. By the way, what happened is we cut our pound cake and then we just waited for the Jell-O to set, which took about 1.5 hours.
Now here's the other Jell-O that I kept out. Remember? And see, this is all liquid. So now we're gonna pour this
over the pound cake.
Over the pound cake.
Yeah. See, I thought you had to do that before. Could you have done this before?
No, because you don't want to make the cake get mushy.
Okay. And so, here's a question that I want to ask. Could you make this ahead of time, obviously, like a day ahead of time?
Yeah, you can make it several days ahead of time if you want.
So this is good to prepare. This would be something really delicious to make for a, this would be something good to make for a picnic or something. Let's say you're going to a 4th of July barbecue.
All right, now I'm going to take my Jell-O and just kind of scrape it.
Get all that yummy raspberry goodness out of there. Yum. You know what? This is like a bloody mess.
And this is, other than this is good too if you have younger ones.
Yeah,
who
this
help
would
you
be
mix,
really fun.
Except for when you're first making the Jell-O with the hot water.
Yeah, this could be really fun. So now we're going to add our pound cake. Only half right now. And then we're going to add some of our whipped topping or whipped cream and just mix it around. And this is going to turn out to be a pudding. A princess pudding.
Yeah, princess pudding.
Is it peach flavored? Jello?
I believe so.
It could be a Princess Peach Jello, like Mario. Mario's girlfriend's name is Peach. You can make a Princess Peach pudding. Wouldn't that be delish?
Mm-hmm. And you know, some people have even cut up, like if you're doing something with orange, you can cut up
Orange slices,
mandarin
maybe?
oranges, or if you're doing a strawberry one, you can do very small little pieces of strawberry.
Yeah.
So you could add to it. So what you want to do is you're going to incorporate all this.
Yeah.
See, so everything is getting mixed together.
And you know what's nice about this, now that I'm thinking about it? I'm not really a huge fan of Jello, and the reason being is because of texture.
Yeah,
right?
a lot of people don't like it because of the texture.
But this kind of gets that whole texture thing out of there, you know what I mean? It kind of, I mean, you still have a little bit of Jello in there.
Okay.
But it looks like that you're not, I don't
So
know.
now what we're going to do, and you don't have to grease anything, we're going to put this in our loaf pan.
Yeah. And now after this, what are we doing? Just get that in there. This is going to be pudding, And so this now, if I remember you saying, we'll have to throw this in a freezer for about an hour, right?
Yeah, because you want this all to kind of set up and get hard. And then what some people do, you could actually put saran wrap in here, and then put your princess pudding in, so that then when it gets really, really hard, you could turn it upside down and take the whole thing out, so it'll be like a log.
Yeah.
And then you can actually slice it down. My grandmother just would take it out of the out of the freezer, let it just sit on the counter for a few minutes, and then just kind of like scoop. You know.
Well, we'll show it. We'll show that, but yeah.
And
so
you can, now this here is just plain. You can garnish it with extra whipped cream if you want, or fruit on top.
Yeah.
Yep. Whatever.
But
we want to get every little good to the last drop here.
Yeah, but so this is gonna go in the freezer for about an hour. And again, you can make this. This looks like a lot of prep right here, but you can make this way in advance. Like seriously, if you're going to some party and you want to bring this, the day before, totally make it ahead of time.
Yeah.
And it will freeze well.
And you want to, if you're doing something like that, you want to actually make it the day before.
Yeah.
And as I said, see, this was just one package of everything. If you're having more people, you can double the recipe.
Yeah, you can even use the whole cake pan.
Yeah. Sometimes it's nice to make a couple different colors.
Yeah.
So that then you could take them and line them up. So you can make a raspberry, a lime, or a blueberry.
Yeah. So we're gonna throw this in the freezer, and in about an hour we'll take it out.
Yeah, we're gonna cover it with saran wrap.
Yeah, we're gonna cover it with saran wrap in about an hour. We'll take it out and we'll taste it.
Okay, here we are. We just took it out of the freezer, and as you can see, a lot of it is frozen, not totally, but when you leave it in longer, of course it's going to be all frozen. My suggestion also would be, if you're going to keep this in the freezer, is to actually put it in a plastic container. You don't want to leave glass in the freezer too long. God forbid you hit it with something, it might crack.
Yeah.
So that would be the best thing, is to put it in a nice Tupperware container or a Glad container, the size that you need.
So let's cut a piece.
The first piece is always hard to get out, so
Yeah.
hopefully it'll come out pretty good. Excuse my fingers. And again, the longer you leave it, then this would become harder, and much thicker, more frozen.
Yeah. So let's have some. All right. So here is our princess pudding. Doesn't it look tasty? Delicious and tasty. So let's have a piece.
It's not hot.
Mm.
It's cold.
It's good. We got the tasty. It's not 100% frozen, so it's not like It's not like I don't know how to explain, but it's good. It's got raspberries and it's like still a little fluffy, so it's not totally frozen. I kind of like it this way.
Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes that's what you can do also. Even though it might be frozen, you're going to take it out for a little bit and let it just start to thaw a tiny bit, and then cut it or scoop it.
So this is actually quite refreshing.
It is.
So this is another refreshing dessert that you can make in the summer. And by the way, if you'd like to buy a Cooking with Kenshin1913 apron, you can. All you have to do is send me a private message. So this has been Pete, or Kenshin1913, along with
Mom,
and this has been another Cooking with Kenshin1913.
enjoy and happy eating.